Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. When you're making stuff, you can never have too many clamps. And in another video, I made these luthier clamps for doing guitars and ukuleles, stringed instruments. When you are doing ukuleles and guitars, you need to do the fretting, which is putting the strengthening to glue between the lids and the sides. So you need lots of little clamps. So in this one, we're going to make some little clamps. The clamps that I've been using are these ones. These are really good, but they're expensive and I've only got 2 of those. I like these ones. They are good and strong. I've got a dozen or so of those. This here is a peg. It works quite well for fretting because it's got a metal spring there, but I've only got 2 of those. These ones are also metal and are springy. I've got 4 of those. They're pretty good. These ones also have a metal spring, but they don't seem to open wide enough. And these normal closed pegs, all the way from Germany actually, they just don't seem to have the strength, but they're decent enough. I still use those. And of course, there is the wooden luthier clamp. But there is another one here that goes on nicely and has a good strength. We'll make some of those. For this you'll need a couple of sticks, a little nail or a piece of wire, and the expensive part, the screw. Putting that stick in the vise, I'm going to cut a groove right down there, about 2 millimeters in, or about, what's that, 1/4 of an inch. Basically down to where the saw bottoms out. So on the opposite face, I'm going to put my cam stick and mark the width of that. Then on a shallow gradient, I'm going to cut those 2 lines to make a groove there. Now, as I get down to the end, I'm going to open up that little stick there so I can continue cutting. So that I'm going to bring that angle back about 1 inch. Now, with a chisel, I'm going to cut out that angle. So that is going to go on a diagonal so that this little stick is going to have room to pivot there on the end from that point there. You could nail that through, but a pilot hole is better for that little nail to go through. For the nail or the wire to go through there. So push that down so there's about 5 mils or so there before making a point, reference point, to make that hole through there. I'm just going to make a mark to round that off in a circle, but because it's going to be concentric, there is going to go from a smaller inner point there, so it's going to taper, but we can figure that out a little bit later. So there I have it installed, and when I lay it down I want it to close completely, so I'm going to put a piece of sandpaper in there, a bit of pressure upwards on that to then sand that back so that it is flush, so that it is a concentric lever. So it's going to do that. Cut that off about 1 inch back from that, the end of the cut.
Now cut one of the same length.
We need to make a cut that's the width of the fretting and the side of the guitar to make that hole there. So they're going to go together like that, and as well as gluing that with some glue, I'm also going to screw it through there to give that some strength this way. So first I'm going to do a pilot hole, putting it in here. So that's basically it, functional. Now there's just a few little cosmetic things to do. With a knife on this handle, I'm going to scallop out a little handle thing. That just makes it easier to get your finger under when it comes to releasing it. Either plane or sand that off there. Make sure that the nail is smooth, and give the whole thing a sand up and oil or varnish or something if you want to.